Hello, hello. This is Vex, and welcome back to Tyranny. Now, we didn't really get to do much in our last episode, pretty much just creating our character and the world that he inhabits. Just a really brief summary. We are in a area of the world that is not controlled completely by the Overlord Kairos. We've been sent here to give an ultimatum to the two best armies of the Overlord, the Elite Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, that they must capture the valley or die. We are also trapped here, as you can tell by this fallen debris. We are greeted by this gentleman here, or woman, I'm not quite sure, named Aurora. I'm guessing woman by that name. Yup, definitely woman, as you can see. You can tell by this icon here that she is a member of the Disfavored. She says, "Kairos the Overlord be praised. When I heard the avalanche, I feared the valley was sealed with you on the other side." The Disfavored warrior clasps her gauntlet to her breastplate, the traditional salute of the Legion. Oh, we've gained favor with the Disfavored. This is from our choices that we made during the character creation phase, or well, the conquest phase, just after the character creation phase. The commander wouldn't say why the governor of Lethian's Crossing, and this area in blue, or I guess green, not blue, excuse me, is determinant of what happens, well, I guess our choices during the conquest. If we hover over it, we see that in the year of 429, the second year of the conquest of the Tiers, you were assigned as the governor of Lethian's Crossing, overseeing the iron forges tasked with supplying the host of war. The tiny settlement grew quickly that year, and before leaving, you assigned control of the settlement to the, I'm guessing that's supposed to be Disfavored. Now we can right click for more information, but I don't think we really need to do that. Anyway, as well, I guess Aurora was saying, the commander wouldn't say why the governor of Lethian's Crossing would be coming. But since we have no forges here, I imagine you're here to knock some sense into the voices of Narat. She catches herself, clearing her throat with a smile. I mean, mediate with the Archon so that we may agree on a plan to wipe out these Oathbreakers. In honor of the veteran guards reneging on the surrender of 429, soldiers in both the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus now refer to these Tiersmen as Oathbreakers. It is perhaps one of the few points of agreement between the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus. As you can tell from both that description and what Aurora is saying, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus do not get along. Anyway, now we have a chance to respond, even though it looks like we are just floating in air, mid-stride. We can either glare silently, say, "I am in a hurry to deliver a message to the Archons. I come bearing an edict of Krydos. Our soldiers will complete their task or die." Or we can use our lore skill, which, since it is above 20, as you see right here, we can say, "Can you hear that hum in the air? That glow around the rocks? The avalanche is Kairos' magic. The Overlord has sealed the valley." Well, let's do that, because, as I said in our first video, lore, when using things such as lore in this case, it raises our experience with lore, which will eventually raise our lore skill. Lore being the example. See, we gain 20 lore experience. Your senses are more than mine, good Fatebinder. I do not pretend to know much about such things. But if it was Kairos' magic and you're here on important business, well, you don't have to be the Archon of Secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kairos have in store for the enemy? 10 years of festering plague? An edict of twisting bones? As I also said in the last video, these edicts are very, well, varied. They could form many things, as Aurora just kind of insinuated. Now, again, we have 3 choices. Well, although we may be very matter-of-factly, I think we will just say that we're in a hurry to deliver a message to the Archons. Well, you have traveled a long way. I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you at... Her voice falls silent, her attention snapping eastward with alarm. Did you hear that? More runners. 3rd time this week. The Oathbreakers keep trying to send messengers to the mountains to help from the other side of the valley. She points over to the collapsed path by which you arrived. But they're a bit late for that now. Come. Let's show these Oathbreakers a good fight. And now we get into our first bit of combat. We will pause immediately. And now you'll look down here in the bottom left-hand corner is our character. Right above him is us. As you can see, we have 100 health. We also have 4 abilities. We have generic thrust, cleave, and you can see from that semicircle sphere right in front of us, that's the range of the cleave. And we have charged fist, which is our electrical or shocking magic, and searing palm, which is fire magic that we got as one of our choices during Conquest. So, and before I continue, if you look down here, this is obviously Aurora with the green circle around her, and that this is the enemy, the Oathbreaker she mentioned. You notice the red line, that is indicating that is who she is. The Oathbreaker is targeting. We hover over Aurora. It shows that she's barely injured because she's not in our party. It doesn't have a health number. And it shows that she is targeting the Oathbreaker. Well, we should go help her, because we are a member of Kairos' army. Oh, looks like we missed. Let's see about doing some fire damage. You can see how this circle overhead, our head, has the fire searing palm spell, and that little green circle is the charge time. And now we start casting it. Oh, look at that. He is on fire. Perfect. That's 1 down. Let's check further down the path for more. Oh, you see here.
On the lookout.
Oh, I just accidentally stealthed us. We can loot him. He's got a whetstone and potion of protection. Oh, how do I get us out of stealth? Ah, here it is. Stealth, because we don't need to be in stealth. Alright. The avalanche has blocked us. Think you could fit through that rubble? Now, this icon here obviously means we can interact with it. So we go and click on it. A rock slide blocks the path ahead. You can squeeze through a narrow gap between the stones, or you can attempt to push one of the boulders out of your way. And those are obviously the choices. Now, if you notice, move boulder requires at least 30 athletics. And since it is green, that means we have 30 or higher athletics. So we can do that action. Why don't we do that? Oh yes, I paused. Oh, perfect. Look at that. We helped out, killing one of them. The ranged person. Looks like we got another member of the elite disfavored over here. He's a stone shield who is barely injured, and he's got both of the... Oh, what are they called? The Oathbreakers engaged. Now, because we just attacked, it instantly pauses it.
Trouble is afoot.
Now, again, you see how it's got this cooldown meter. It's a cooldown meter for our attack. Now, we can use this cleave, which is going to attack both. However, you also notice we can kind of say where we want it to. And the icon under each of the enemies determines whether we are hitting them or not. So if you see here, only one of the enemies have that kind of more than just a circle. They have a broken circle, I guess you can say. That means we are targeting just this one. However, over here, we're targeting both. Let's go ahead and do that. That way we do damage to 2 enemies. Oh, look at that. By mousing over the enemies, you see those circles under there. It kind of says how injured they are. You see, this Sun Soldier has 3 and they're yellow. It says that he is injured. This one has 4, they're green, and he's barely injured. Our Stone Shield is doing pretty good, which, based off the look of him, well, he's probably got pretty decent heavy armor. But let's set this one on fire. Now you can see what I mean about how I like magic. And we'll also use our lightning on this guy. I'm sorry that I will probably be pausing as I use a lot of our skills, because, well, we need time to target. Let's use our thrust on this guy. Oh, perfect. And you can see how that raised our two-handed weapons by 1. You notice how over here they are kind of counting down. That's the charge time, or how often we can use them. I am going to try using fire again. It might work. Perfect. We got him. Let's see if we can't... Oh, yeah, there are some things to loot from these guys. Nothing I personally like to use, especially not for this character, but let's talk with this Stone Shield. Don't bother with me. Go down to the pass. Drastis. The soldier clenches his gut and winces. You can see a hint of entrails beneath his fingers. Oh, I don't think he's long for this world. You're wounded, and it's not trivial. He laughs through clenched teeth. This? But a scratch. I've seen twice as worse, 10 times over. He doubles over in pain, gagging and shivering. If you'll let me help. I'm fine. The shoulder moans and shakes his head. Graven Ash protects. You go and help the others. Now, Graven Ash is leader of the elite disfavored. What does Graven Ash protects mean? Graven Ash, Archon of War, is capable of shielding his soldiers from injury and fatigue. This protective influence exerts itself even from far away or as he sleeps. If he sleeps, rumors disagree. Few understand how this arcane power works, but all who have faced the disfavored in battle will attest that Ash's soldiers can survive serious harm and shrug off the fatigue of starvation. Oh, wow. So it seems like these disfavored are able to sustain near fatal injuries a lot more often than most people. Alright, let's keep running in the direction. Oh, we can loot this guy, this poor guy. And let's continue on. Oh, there's another battle. Looks like this is probably a member of the Scarlet Chorus.
Try and catch me, worm.
Oh, she speaks and has a name. Her name is Verse. A young Scarlet Fury. They are elite fighters within the Scarlet Chorus. Cool. Weaves around the veteran guard attackers, avoiding their weapons with fluid grace. She nods to acknowledge you. Oh, and this is the enemy that's talking. A breathless enemy soldier passes a glance to her countrymen. This one's crazy. Too much lead in her water. We should cut our losses and turn back.
Fatebinder. Here at last. Care to join me in putting these cowards out of their misery?
Oh, she seems to enjoy her fighting, doesn't she? She nods to the armed soldiers bearing down on her. Why don't we join the battle? Save something for me. The Sun Soldier yells, "For the realm of Apex, charge!" The veteran guard levels their weapons, and advance. Alright, so let's go rush in and help out. Now you'll notice we now have Verse in our party. She has 105 health. She's only at 101, so she's a little hurt. So she's got more health than us. So she has a skewer ability. Oh, this looks like it's a ranged ability from the range. Oh, and we have a special partnership ability called Blood Soaked Stone. Now, Verse, if you'll... Where is that? There it is. This weapon sets ability. Notice we can switch weapons. She's currently dual wielding. She can then switch to unarmed combat. Not the greatest, but I've never used it, so maybe it is actually decent. And, oh, she has a bow. That explains why her second ability, Burning Iron, has such a large range. Since she is so close to the enemy, and I'll zoom in for the combats, when she is being targeted, currently by two of them, both of her enemies would get attacks of opportunity on her as she tries to run out of their melee range. So let's grab us again. Oh, and you'll notice we also get this Blood-Soaked Stone ability, which is only useful once per encounter. Unlike our other abilities, this can only be used once per fight. Since we got these two up here, actually let's get we can't get any closer. Since we got these two here, let's cleave them both. And we'll grab Vexx, her parry just went up. Let's just skewer one of the enemies. That looks like this one's a little more hurt.
You got it.
Take that!
Oh. Okay, let's go with our Blood-Soaked Stone. This one, you'll see, it's pretty neat. She trips them up, and we attack. Alright, Verse, no, I want you to switch to your bow. We can run up with our sword. Verse, go back. Why don't you see what... Oh, let's see what this does. Oh, it sends a burning arrow which can set the enemy on fire.
You got it.
That seems pretty good. Let's have her do that and we'll cast lightning. Oh, look at that. You see how far we pushed them back?
They
Let's
won't
use
even
our
get close.
thrust again. Oh, there we go.
Phew. I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent.
The fighter surveys the fresh corpses and nods with satisfaction.
I'm Verse, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian guard we killed didn't come alone.
She gestures to the skirmish unfolding below. Not so fast. First, explain what you're doing here.
The voices of Narot told me to intercept you at Edgering Ruins before you busied yourself solving all of the camp's problems. Guess I was too late.
So, in case you forgot, the voices of Narot is the leader of the Scarlet Chorus.
You're due for a meeting with the Archons, but we should handle the small matter of this ambush first.
Alright. I'm ready for battle if you are.
Eager. I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching.
Now, rings is the currency of the game. Now, it makes sense to loot them. They don't need it anymore. We certainly do.
No reason to pity the
And
fallen.
we have
Before
gained-
long, we might wish we'd joined them here. But at least we'll enjoy heavy pockets and warm toes.
Sorry to interrupt Verse there. You may have noticed we gained some loyalty with Verse. And you also notice under her has our icon. Or our banner. Now we hover over it, it shows loyalty. We are 40% towards tier 1 with fear 0% towards tier 1. So she is very loyal to us, but she doesn't fear us. It is entirely possible to get near max of both. Now both offer different abilities.
For the voices of Nerat!
Verse furrows her brow and focuses down on the battle to come. Now before I continue on with what I'm saying, you'll notice Verse took some damage there, and she's healing. You heal outside of battle if possible. Oh, this is a lesser sigil of reaching. Now, I'll get into that shortly. Now, that is a nice piece of equipment which we can give to Verse. Because she, as you can see, she does not have any helmet. It shows up over her helmet, which, over her body, not her helmet. I don't like the look of it, so let's just hide it. Now what about us? Should we hide our helmet? Yeah, I think it looks a little bit better. As you can see, this is our inventory screen. Obviously, we have 69 copper rings, 0 bronze, and 0 iron. And I believe it's 100 of each, maybe more, but I'm not certain at this point, to go up in each. Alright, so let's just wait for Versus health to reach 100%. Perfect. Oh, we can loot this guy. There is one other thing I didn't mention. The different types of armor. There is, obviously, heavy and light. This is broken, which is just trash loot. Now, heavy armor, as you can guess, offers more protection. But light armor, which is what both us and Verse are wearing, lets you do better, lowers your casting time. So, well, casting and unit ability refresh. Or not unit ability, just your ability refresh. So, I like to wear light armor if I can. Because, as I stated earlier, I like my both my combat with swords and spell. Alright, now this guy, Tarkus Deimos, eyes forward, no looking back. The veteran warrior roars with his flax held high in his hands, largely lost over his words largely lost over the din of combat. Now the flax is an enduring symbol of military life in the tiers, adopted from the agrarian sides of Azure. This curved blade was, in ages past, the weapon of peasants forced into battle. In the last century, the nobles of Apex took liking to this weapon, and it has since become the weapon all serious veteran guard warriors endeavor to master. He continues, Stand aside, or your funeral will be over the side of the bluff. Seeing you squarely in his path, the soldier points his weapon your way. Now we have two choices. I applaud your bravery, but I implore you to end foolishness and lay down your arms, or there's no escape. And for Oathbreakers, no surrender. Now that seems a little bit far and bound. Oh, as you look, we have a lot of wrath towards the we've gained some wrath towards the Vedran Guard. Now, since we are a diplomat as well, let's try and get a diplomatic solution here. Not a chance. If I surrender, I'm as good as dead. At least we can drag some of Kairos' chosen along our short journey to the void. As he signals for his men to charge, the sound of chanting rises from the south, drawing his attention. Scarlet Force's reinforcements! Hurry! Oh, and some of them go off to fight. Oh, we have reinforcements. Oh, this guy is named Mocking Blaze. That's quite the name. Run down the Oathbreakers! Let none escape! From the red mob of reinforcements from the south, a blood chanter emerges from at the head of the rabble. The ornamental crest of her staff pulsating with crimson tones, signing sigils of magic, and wordlessly moving her mouth. The blood chanter scribes a series of spells into the air. A red glow surrounds the Vedran Guard warriors as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage. Back to Tamus Dalos, as you can tell by the name right here. Hold position, all of you! You there, keep to the path. The warrior gestures along the canyon trail, but his soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus roaring challengers. No! Don't engage them! We need to run! His orders falling on deaf ears, the warriors reluctantly ready their weapons. Alright, now unfortunately I forgot to have everyone selected. So let's have Verse run up. She is still using her bow. We only have the sword and our staff, but like I said, I like using swords and spell. Let's set our main guy on fire. Let's see if we can't take out one of these. Oh, and notice, a couple of them are throwing javelins. Oh, and we are quite hurt. We are at under half health. Now here we have these lesser healing potions. We'll drink one and use it. Now let's use our thrust on him. First, what are you doing? Start fighting back. Oh, looks like they're attacking Verse. Let's see if we can't push the... Oh, this Tarkus Deimos is nearing death. Oh, we didn't get to use our our spell. Let's see if we can get both. Oh, we can get both. Perfect. As you can see, the Scarlet Chorus are making short work of these guys.
I'm injured.
Oh, we have an injury. Hopefully that won't last for too long. Oh, looks like we don't have any of them. Oh, and this guy comes running over. Come quick! We have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander! Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Can we loot any of these fallen enemies? It does not appear so.
Will do.
Now, I accidentally did not zoom in there, but oh well. Oh, there are some people over here we can loot. Now, anything we don't use, we can obviously sell. Okay, what did... Verse, come over here. I meant to select both of you. I didn't. There we go. We now have both of us selected. We'll run over. See if we can't help out. This guy is named Pelux Tyrell. Stow your weapons or we find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine below. Cornered between a precipitous drop and a band of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at knife point. The commander, Dratus. Skewer him! Worry not for me. Graven Ash will protect. The disfavored officer winces, blood seeping from the seams of his bracers and cuirass. Mocking Blaze. You heard the man. He plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp? Oh, they are not the nicest of people, these Scarlet Chorus. He's Pelux Tyrell. This blade? With a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Drastus's matted hair. If you're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. Now again, you'll notice we have a chance to use our athletics this time in conversation. This might be the most or the least combat of the skill. We lower our weapon, then charge forward and wrest the knife from his hand. Oh, we've gained favor with the Scarlet Chorus, the disfavored, and gained some athletics experience. The Oathbreaker cracks a wide smile as you lower your weapon. That's right. Now the rest of you, drop those weapons. With his attention to the other warriors, you dash forward. He reaches out with his dagger to slay Drastus, but your hand is already on his wrist. With a wrenching twist, you mangle his hand, dropping the dagger harmlessly to the ground. The disfavored warriors rush forward from either side of you. Tyrell barely manages a strained gasp before being hacked and impaled on their swords and spears. Oh, they killed him. Kairos be praised. The Oathbreaker fought with the rage of Karen himself. Who is this Karen? Oh, he's an Archon of Stone that worked with the disfavored. We will meet him later on. Sort of. Drastus slides a trembling hand along the cut on his neck. Thank you, Fatebinder. I thought today was my last. From the look of it, guess they thought if they swarmed the pass, maybe one might make it out. We found a few scraps of parchment in those bodies. Drastus holds out a handful of crumpled parchments for your inspection. Literacy is rare in the Northern Empire, where the disfavored are born and trained. Time spent reading and writing is, after all, time not spent sparring and readying one's body for mind and battle. Students of letters, such as yourself, should be able to make sense of this. Now, we could say this too, all that training in Graven Ash doesn't teach you to read, but as we just read in that, by highlighting over that green text, it would probably anger the disfavored, and well, I don't think it's a good idea to anger our allies, so we'll just examine the parchment. Repeating the same messages in different written scripts, the parchment explains the Veteran Guard's desperate desire to overthrow Kairos and rout the armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms to gather at Vedrian's well. So they're trying to get a mass rebellion going. Ha, recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traders to the fight. Well, from the look of it, we kept them from slipping out of the valley. Whatever they hoped to accomplish, I think their plan died here. The Archons are expecting you when you're ready. Leave by the gate to the southeast and follow the trails downslope for a few hours. You'll see the campfires leagues away. Can't miss it. Alright, at this point, I think I will end the video. Now, we haven't done a lot, but we did get the chance to fight a little bit. At the start of the next video, I'll show you what I meant about the awesome augmenting of magic, as we did get an item that will help augment some of our magic. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope that you guys have a great day.